first guest tonight is a Grammy-nominated comedian and best-selling author. Tickets to the second leg of her High and Mighty tour go on sale March 27th at chelseahandler.com. Please welcome to the show my friend Chelsea Handler, everybody.
Great. How are you?
I'm wonderful, and I kind of can't comprehend how, with your busy touring schedule, you've also found time on social media to launch your own dating service.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not like an app.
I decided it was an emergency.
Yeah.
I was at a party, and there were so many, very successful, really good-looking women who were just like, it's so rough out there.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got home, I was a little buzzed, and I went and I recorded a message for Instagram and said, hey, I want to help people connect, even if it's in the comments. Just say what you're looking for. I want people to get penetration and, meet. But people who want something more serious also to facilitate that,
right.
you know? And my DMs filled up with a lot of messages, and about 90% of them are from gay guys.
Okay.
But I'm not worried about gay men having sex.
Yeah.
That's clearly happening everywhere we go.
Yeah.
So I was trying to help women, and now
I feel like, with all due respect, because again, I think they're all crushing it. This is a time to please get out of this queue.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Allow space for people who aren't getting as much action. Because gay men, I basically turned into Grindr, is basically what's happened. Because I want them to hook up.
Have you made any matches?
I have.
Okay.
I've made a couple, but then it became overwhelming, so I had to involve some other people.
Got it.
To go look and sort through. So there's going to be updates, but I just want to make an announcement while I'm here.
Please.
Thank you for this opportunity. I know you're married, so obviously count yourself out.
Okay.
But for any straight men out there that are really looking for an awesome woman, if you're serious about a relationship and you have a job and everything seems normal, people like you, you have friends, please DM me. I can find you a woman. I can.
Yeah.
I have access to the best women.
Can I say something? What I like about this is, look, I feel like you could go on a dating app. You could maybe you could tell white lies. I would not feel comfortable doing that with you, right? If I'm turning myself over to you, Chelsea Handler, I know that if I'm lying about stuff, you will call them out.
Yeah, there will be problems.
Yeah.
But I'm also conversely, there's something's wrong in the world. People are not meeting the same way they used to. Something's wrong with men, I think.
Yeah.
It's, straight men, something's wrong.
Yeah.
So, I want to help you. I want to help you meet. If you don't know how to meet women, be honest, and we'll help you.
Can I tell you what's wrong with straight white men?
Is it because
we're under attack?
I understand, and I understand the fragility that goes along with that. But in order to
you walk a day in our shoes.
You are under attack.
Yeah,
it's true.
So hard. It's so hard.
It almost feels like men over 50 need some sort of iPhone update. You know what I mean? That hasn't been made available to them because you haven't updated your phone. You just need a refresh. And I honestly think everything will be okay.
That's really great. The problem is none of us can remember to plug our phones in at night. And it has to be plugged in. It won't update if the phone's not plugged in. Do you like when people try to set you up?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I never did either.
It's never really worked out that I can recall.
Yeah.
I'm going to find what I'm looking for.
On your own, yeah.
On my own.
You prefer to have your own agency in those moments.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like, if a man, for instance, this is good. When a man hits on me, I know that they're confident because I know that most men are icked out by me. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say icked out. I'd say intimidated. I'd buy into that.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
You can frame it in a nice way. I'll frame it as icked out. Men are like, ugh, it's a lot of women, And so if you do approach me, I find that to be attractive and charming. I'm like, oh, look at this guy. He thinks he can talk to me.
Right.
And then I'm interested. So men, keep this in mind, okay?
Yeah.
We like the attention.
You have a new boyfriend. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Is it true that you met him at the slot machines in Las Vegas?
Him. No, I don't use the slot machines.
Okay, good.
Come on.
He's 105.
I was gambling. Yes. I was gambling. He had money. I was out of money. My friends had lost my money. I borrowed money. And then he wanted to go on a date. And I told him that I was going to Antarctica. And he went to Antarctica for our first date. So we've been dating ever since.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that cute?
What a way to start things.
Yeah, I was again, what I was saying before, like, not everybody can obviously go to Antarctica or wants to, but I thought I was going on a psychedelic conference
Gotcha.
to Antarctica, so obviously it was a work trip.
I mean, if a woman told me that, I'd be like, oh, so she's a liar.
Yes, right. Exactly.
Oh.
So, but a big move like that, I liked.
Yeah.
I liked that. That made me attracted. Then I was interested again in seeing him. So.
This is not him, but I do want to ask what you're doing right here, because this is a man on a bed in a towel, and that's you seeming to inject something in him. And by the way, this isn't a gotcha photo. You brought this.
I put this, yes. I posted this today. This is one of my gay publicists who's also single and available if you're interested.
Okay, great.
He's tagged in this photo on Instagram. I took him skiing. I took some friends to Aspen this weekend. I had a work commitment, and I decided to make a trip out of it. And he had never skied before, and he ended up with a hematoma on the side of his hip from falling and skiing. And that's me, actually, I'm vaping. That's not injecting. It looks like I'm injecting. I am actually.
You're just looking at it and vaping.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes.
So not like medical professional,
Well,
just more like curious person.
I think I've mentioned this to you before. I have an extensive medical background, and I like to consider myself a farm-to-table gynecologist.
Yeah.
So I was looking at the damage, and then I was medicating myself so that I didn't get carried away. But he's going to be okay, and he's going to be ready for Coachella for anyone who wants to meet him there.
I got a lot more to ask Chelsea right after this, everybody. Hey, everybody, we're back with Chelsea Handler, and we were talking, you do not have children, but you like having children in your life.
I mean, I like them at a distance.
Yeah.
Like,
you're like
as a community, like, you know.
You're
like,
very strong. You have a very strong aunt game.
I do. I'm a good aunt, you know, most of the time. I mean, you know, they know where I'm where the action is. Like, if you're gonna hang out with me, that's where the fun is.
Yeah.
You know, like some of my brothers and sisters are married to people that are not as fun. And I tell them when we go on vacation, like, follow my lead, and I have the edibles and whatever else.
Okay, gotcha.
Whatever.
So there's a real gray area as far as what kind of aunt you are.
Yeah, like I'm more of like a sister aunt, you know what I mean? But I do want to, like, I do care about people's children in general. Like, I care about all of our children. I think that is very important as an adult that doesn't have children, to always make sure that children are taken care of.
Yeah.
You know?
Which, by the way, it shouldn't be that hard of a thing to agree to, and yet, strangely, it does.
Yes, yes, I know. I even once took a parenting class, quite frankly. One of my friends was having trouble with her kids, and I was like, oh, I'll take a parenting class with you. And I learned a ton of stuff, and I was like, wow, this is really impressive.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, people would be, like, very surprised to learn about that. I wrote it about in my book, but I learned a lot of important things. Like, you can never get mad at a child. You know, when a child's mad, you have to be the adult. You have to always be ready for their good. There's no joke coming. This is serious.
Yeah.
You have to be ready and meet their moment. Like you have to be the tree. Like, no matter if they're upset, crying, happy, or joyful, you're always there.
Yeah, that's why I've never gotten mad at my kids.
By the way, Seth has one of his children at work with him today.
Yeah.
So that's.
I think he might remember one or two times I got a little mad at him, but I'm gonna do that tree thing, moving
just be
forward.
The tree. Be the tree.
You hosted the Critics' Choice Awards 4 times.
Yeah.
And it's an incredible room.
I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I like a one-off gig. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Where you get up and I mean, even though I've done it 4 times, it's once a year. And
Yeah.
that's the kind of workload I'm interested in.
I feel like you do a very good job. You make fun of
you.
people in the room, but I also feel as though the people in the room know you're doing it with love. It's like a nice line to walk. I think they
Yeah.
consider you a peer. Do you enjoy that?
I
Are you
do.
good at making fun of people?
I think so. I mean, I've always kind of made fun of people. That's how I was born. You know, I was the youngest of or I still am the youngest of 6 children until all my siblings die off. And
Keep us updated. Next time you come out, I'll ask.
They would take me to places and be like, my brothers would take me to places. They'd be like, go yell at that guy. Go tell him he's an idiot. And I would be like 4. I'd be like, listen up, you ass. You know, I went off, and I got rewarded for it at a young age. But I'm also very, like, it's my personality to just be direct, not necessarily go off on them like I did when I was younger. It's more refined. But I definitely have no problem telling somebody that you're an idiot. You know what I mean?
You're on a very, what looks like an arduous tour right now, all across the country.
Well, we need joy and laughter, people.
100% we need it. Thank you for your efforts.
We need joy
Thank you for
and
your efforts.
laughter. I know you're doing shows.
It's
too.
great. And I will say it is nice to be, I think the collective joy of being in a room with people who all made a choice to come out.
Yes, yes.
To laugh. It's a really special feeling.
It's also, as a performer, when you walk out, just like we're watching this audience tonight, you know, you see people that didn't come to your show together that are sitting next to each other. And when you're making people laugh like that and they're rubbing shoulders, you're like reminding everybody, A, about humanity, about joyfulness. And it feels very purposeful as a comedian to be able to provide a reprieve during this hell we're living through.
Yeah. You also, 100%. Obviously, air travel right now is a bit of a nightmare. You dedicated one of your books, I believe your last book maybe, to flight attendants.
Yes.
And the hard work they do. Is that something you've always appreciated, the efforts they put into it?
Yeah, they have to put up with a lot of garbage. Now, my next book I'm going to have to dedicate to these TSA employees who are working every day. These poor people.
I know.
We have to thank these people every day. And I read on Instagram somewhere, because that's all I read now, and it's, somebody suggested we send all the ICE people, all the ICE guys that are pretending to work. I don't know what they're doing at the airport, but we should send them to Iran. I thought that was a great idea.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
Thought
I thought that was clever.
You've got an incredible amount of dates. I'm so happy to see you. Please come back soon. You're always such a delight to talk to.
Thank you.
Chelsea Handler. For information about her tour, visit chelseahandler.com. We'll be right back with Eiza Gonzalez.